NASA just dropped a number that stopped scientists cold. On an exoplanet just 4 light years from Earth, they detected a signal strong, like linked to living organisms, with a confidence level of 99.7%. In the world of astronomy, that's basically slamming a piece of extra, ordinary evidence onto the table, in front of all of humanity. And here's the part that really messes with your head if life actually exists there. They're only 124 light years away, in a universe that stretches 93 billion light years across. That's the cosmic equivalent of spending your whole life searching for something, and finding it in your own closet. So what exactly is K28b? Every clue points to a single bizarre thing: a smell. You know that distinct, briny odor when you walk along the ocean. That's caused by a compound called dimethyl sulfide, or DMS. On Earth, DMS has essentially one source: marine microbes, plankton, algae releasing it as they live and decay. Bottom line, if you smell it, something is alive nearby. Now here's where it gets wild. The James Webb Space Telescope detected DMS in the atmosphere of K28b. Not just a trace of it, but at concentrations 10 times higher than anything we see on Earth. But why does a single gas signal point to life? Because DMS is incredibly fragile. It's destroyed by sunlight. It breaks down within days of exposure. There is no natural process that just creates it out of thin air and keeps it floating around at those levels. The only explanation that makes sense: something on that planet is continual, so pumping it out a lot of somethings. In plain terms, beneath the atmosphere of K28b, there may be an entire alien ocean teeming with life, essentially a giant pot of extraterrestrial seafood soup, and it's still boiling. Okay, so now you're probably picturing a lush paradise, blue skies, maybe some gentle alien waves. Stop right there. Scientists classify K28b as an ocean world. It's more than twice the size of Earth, completely covered in water, wrapped in Arctic hydrogen, atmosphere like a suffocating blanket. Water sounds good, right? Not here. This ocean is Agenoon hellscape. The planet's gravity is immense, which means the ocean could be over 10 kilometers deep. The pressure at the bottom, around 2400 atmospheres. To put that in perspective, the Mariana Trench, the deepest point on Earth, sits at about 100 atmospheres. That's already enough to crush most submarines. K28b's ocean floor is more than double that. Drop a steel submarine in there, and it gets crushed like an aluminum can in under a second. So if life exists here, it looks nothing like anything we know. First, it's pitch black down there. Eyes are useless. Any life here is almost certainly blind, navigating through pressure waves, magnetic fields, or chemical signals. Second, with no land barriers and an ocean that goes on forever, creatures could grow to absolutely absurd sizes. Think giant, slow drifting blobs, like enormous underwater hot air balloons. But to survive thousands of atmospheres of crushing pressure, their bodies would need to be incredibly tough, probably armored with dense, ultra-resistant shells, or skeleton built like structural steel. Sounds like a sci-fi movie. Yeah, but the science is pointing us there. With a signal this strong, why are scientists still refusing to say the words "we found alien life"? Because science has a line it will not cross without proof. 99.7% confidence sounds huge in statistics. It's called the 3 Sigma standard. But to officially announce the discovery of extraterrestrial life, something that would rewrite every textbook on the planet, you need 5 sigma. That means the probability of being wrong has to shrink to roughly 1 in a million. History is full of 3 sigma discoveries that later turned out to be instrument glitches or statistical noise. One premature announcement wouldn't just cause global panic, it could permanently damage the credibility of the entire scientific community. So NASA kept going. The original data came from a near-infrared camera, which left a small margin for instrument error. To close that margin, scientists switched to a more powerful infrared instrument and ran KR. 12 full-second pass. The result, the signal showed up again. The whole world is now waiting for the final data. If it clears 5 sigma, it means one thing. Life in the universe isn't a fluke, it's everywhere. At this point, you might be daydreaming about booking a flight to KR-18B. Pump the brakes. Even if KR-18B has life, the survival rules out there make our world look like a luxury resort. Let's start with one of the most common traps: tidal locking. Proxima Centauri b, just slight years away. Kepler 1649c both caught in this trap. What is tidal locking? Imagine being forced to stare at your teacher without ever turning your head. These planets are so close to their stars that gravity has completely frozen their rotation. One side bakes in eternal daylight, scorched and barren. The other side is locked in permanent frozen night. So where does life go? One narrow strip, the Terminator line, the border between fire and ice. Hot and cold air masses slam together there, barely keeping liquid water stable. If life exists on these planets, it's squammed into that thin eternal twilight zone. Forever, one step left, Ure incinerated. 1 step right, Ure frozen solid. Then there's WASP 76B640, light years away. The day side hits 2350 度, sea iron and titanium down T. Just melt, they evaporate, those metal vapors get blasted by hurricane force. Winds to the night side, where they cool, condense, and rain back down as liquid iron. This planet rains molten iron every single day. You could hold up a titanium umbrella, it would be destroyed instantly. And then there's GJ-1214b, another ocean world, but with a twist that defies physics. At 280 摄氏度 in crushing pressure, the water there doesn't behave like water. It enters a state called a supercritical fluid. Not quite liquid, not quite gas, something in between, something that can pass through barriers like a ghost. The entire planet is at dimension ruled by high-pressure water phantoms, and astronomers are now speculating that around supermassive black holes, there may be retrograde planets orbiting in the opposite direction of the black hole spin, taking millions of years to complete a single orbit in that absolute abyss where even light can't escape. If something is alive there, how does it experience time? How does it survive? Just thinking about it breaks something in your brain. Back to KR-18B, that boiling alien ocean, that pitch black pressure cooker, 124 light years away. We spent thousands of years just barely mapping our own solar system, and out of over 5,000 confirmed exoplanets, we've barely cracked open the door. What's on the other side? Maybe a planet full of enormous armored sea creatures drifting in darkness. Maybe iron rain and ghost water, maybe something so alien that no human language has the words to describe it. When NASA finally releases that confirmation report, the one that could redefine everything, we might finally understand Earth was never the only answer. The universe has no limits. The only thing that runs out is our imagination. If alien life gets officially confirmed tomorrow, what's the first thing you want to know? Drop it in the comments. Follow for more, because the universe keeps getting stranger, and we're just getting started.